we just caught Mr. Gary Smith with a sip of coffee. But now, where's your coffee gone? Now we don't see it anymore because it's oh, there you go. Okay. Gary Smith, I know our connection is not the strongest here with the internet, but it is working to a certain extent. And I'm going to take any minute that I can get from you and even if it's only for a few minutes now, that we can speak with you and then continue at some point later on when you're back home, because you're not at home. Where are you this time?
Hey, Kurt, I'm in Qatar, in Doha, in a hotel room, and like you say, struggling with the internet, especially on the Zoom calls or the WhatsApps, on the video call. So hopefully we can make this work. But I'm here for a couple more days, and I head back to Holland.
And we have not spoken in quite a while now, even though you have so much to tell and we have so much to talk about with all the events, the recent events, the World Meet and other things happening. So where do we start? I guess we're going to start with the World Meet. There's one fact, and then I want to point that out now before we start the whole thing. And I know you will probably hate to hear that, but it is a fact that that you are, I don't know, probably the only coach who has ever won a gold medal and a bronze medal at a competition, at a world championship of formation skydiving in history. And you know, the audience should know. You know, there is you have brought NMP PCH Hayabusa to their first gold medals, and now you were with them, helping them at least winning their fourth set, some of them at least, of gold medals. And you have been coaching the Qatar Tigers full time. That's actually your main job by now.
Yes, correct.
You must be a proud coach.
Yes, very proud. And yeah, thank you for it. But yeah, for sure. I mean, it's one of those that, let me just move this a bit. Hopefully you can still hear me, even though this locks up. But
yes, our video is a little bit compromised, but the audio is very good. So that's fine. Gary, you look pretty. And if your face is still on the screen, that's fine. We hear you.
It may be better if it's not moving. No, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's great for me, but obviously it was made a little bit easier in a sense that Hayabusa are very self-sufficient, and I didn't really have to put too much input into them. And but very proud of Qatar Tigers. They didn't have their best meet on all the way through, but they had one or two great rounds, and they had a great start to the meet. So I think in that sense, very proud of both the teams, and yeah, very happy, very ecstatic.
Well, they still had to outscore the French team, even though, you know, were doing mainly 8-way and didn't get too much training 4-way. It's still a world-class team, the French 4-way team. There's some training at least, so it didn't come for free. I mean, the bronze medals for Qatar didn't come for free, but bronze medals are, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the French, you have to remember, Damien and Kevin did a 25 average in Australia and in the 4-way. So they know slouches, that they can fly. And obviously, and also Orion, I've seen him do very good 4-way in the tunnel. So the only guy Albon picked up is new, and I think he had a fantastic meet. I congratulated him on his meet. And obviously he was disappointed, but he was in the 8-way, but he was very happy also in the 4-way. So, I mean, yes, they didn't train, and if they trained, they would have given the Tigers, you know, a run for their money. But I also think with a bit more pressure, the Tigers could have also picked up some more points as well.
Yeah, that's Alban Rumolo, the youngest. He was surely the the youngest competitor at this World Meet. Maybe, I don't know how it was in history, but yeah, pretty amazing. But he was not really that much younger as one of the Hayabusa members, right?
Yeah. And I mean, for Mikey, I think I told you as well in one of the comments is that he must be the first world four-way world champion with only 1,500 jumps. I think he's got 1,550 jumps, so 1,550 jumps, and he's a four-way world champion. So he's only done just over 550 jumps with Hayabusa. So in that
So you're
sense,
talking about
fantastic.
you are talking about a total number of skydives, 1,500.
Total number of skydives. He started with 800 jumps over 10 years. So that's, I mean, if you average it out, only 80 jumps per year that he did for his first 10 years of skydiving. Obviously, in that he did intensive tunnel, and then he joined Hayabusa with 800 jumps. And I can remember him making his 1,000th jump with Hayabusa 1.5 years ago. So he's only done 550 jumps, I think, with them, just over, maybe a fraction more. So in fact, I think I said to him, I think I said 1,500. He might only have 1,350 jumps. So it's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, that is amazing, and we will talk to him again. I have applied for my official interview with Hayabusa, and hopefully after winning again, hopefully we'll get it soon, and then talk a little bit about this incredible situation. Now that is something that unheard of. You know, this
Yeah.
UK.
But on the other side, and I've put a lot of compliments to the team, because they always hear about, wow, Mikey did so good and he's the champion, and yes, he has to do it. But at the end of the day, they made it possible. You know, the rest of the team, including Dave on video, were huge in bringing him up, and they've got a special formula inside the team. They brought Bob in, and after Roy stopped in 2014, and in 2 years, Bob was a world champion. And now Mikey's come in, you know, and within 1.5 years, or call it 2 years, but together with big COVID restrictions, only 550 jumps with the team, and he's a world champion, you know. So, and for Giveaway, no matter whether it was rhythm or airspeed that they went up against, he still did a great meet. You know, they averaged 32 point something on 6 rounds. I know it would have dropped, but fantastic. I mean, he had a great performance.
So is it a secret, or can you tell us, or do you know the formula, the Hayabusa formula to integrate a new team member?
No, I think I know what we do, but it's nothing that I can openly discuss. It's not a secret, but I think the formula that they have, the respect that they give the new guys, the way that they bring them into the team, and all listen to them at the same time, it helps. And obviously also their choice, you know, their choice of the player, of trying to make. And to be honest with you, and I've said it openly to Mikey, we weren't sure if he would fit into the team. We all had our doubts, but he definitely, how can you say it, he fitted in so fast into the team, and his personality actually added to the team. So we were all a little bit incorrect or wrong in our first thoughts on bringing him into the team.
He wanted it. He really
wanted
it. I think that's probably also a little bit important. You know, not only that the team is ready to integrate him, I guess the new member also has to have a pretty serious desire of doing it.
Yes, and I mean, forgets the skydiving. He gave up his lifestyle and he joined the Belgian military. So he went into the trenches and he was slept nights out and whatever, with guns at his side. You know, he joined the military, had his hair cut, had to do that, and even in the training, sometimes he sleeps in the military base. So there's commitment that is huge.
Yeah, he's a soldier now. So that's the Belgian soldier, no doubt. Okay, yeah. Well, it's freezing again, Gary. I think we should really, it's coming back. Sorry, but our connection is unfortunately not perfect, but the audio, luckily the audio is great. So maybe you can still tell us quickly what you're doing in Qatar actually now, because that's where you
Well,
are.
it basically was a little bit unplanned, but they have the SISM meet here at the end of the year, the Military World Championships, and they move in drop zones, and Jeremy's here as well. And Jeremy's actually, I can call him meet director. He's arranging some of the stuff. So I actually came in to help a little bit with that and to sort out some paperwork with regarding, we're hoping to have our next camp in a couple of weeks' time.
Okay. So it's
just more of a paperwork. There's no training, there's no nothing. So it's all just preparation and paperwork, to be honest with you.
And we have a few teams like the SISM championship, the military championship will bring a few teams from the World Meet back together. We have Hayabusa. There will be the Qatar Tigers, obviously, and then the Spanish team is the same too, isn't it? Isn't it a military?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Spanish team, and and then of course we'll see the Germans. They're very strong. They were not, obviously it'll be the German. It will not be Airbus, but it'll be the German military side, and they're very strong. I'm hoping the Swiss come. According to Jeremy, there's about 40 nations signed up already.
4-0 or 1-4?
In that sense, it's good. Yeah, 4-0.
4-0. Whoa.
4-0. Yeah.
Well, that's if the military lowers the restrictions, maybe our life can go back to normal too soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think the military, they're gonna. I can't say about I don't want to talk about the vaccinations, but I think most of the military would be vaccinated. It'll be an easy in and out trip, and in that sense, I mean, I was a bit shocked, but 40 nations have already submitted their entry forms. So that's great. It's great.
That is great news for the military world championships. Now the 9 teams in Tanai were not really a record participation on our side, on the civilian side.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was very unfortunate. But I have to go while I'm on the subject. The Russians put up a great show with regards to. They had a lot of volunteers. They had everything. They had all their T's crossed and their I's were dotted. Everything was well organized in that sense of it. But unfortunately for us, the weather. The first week we had the weather towards the end of the meet. They had some problems with the aircraft. So there's certain things, I guess, they could have controlled, some not. But for the most, it was a great venue, good tents, good landing area, a perfect swoop pond for the canopy pilots, so and easy transport in and out to the hotels. So in that sense, it was well covered. It's just a pity, of course, that it was so under-attended.
You had we're talking this. I'm going to save this as a topic for the next conversation with a better connection. But you have your own experiences with world championships and weather meets. This was actually only the 3rd world meet where 10 rounds were not completed. One was in 2006, one was in 2008, and in 2006.
And this one,
you won in a short meet
in Germany, in Gera. Yeah.
Yes, that's where Dylan Fire and Gary Smith won the 4-way gold medals. So we'll talk about this later because it gives you, I mean, it's a very interesting mental challenge when the weather is not cooperating, because you just, on one hand you have your tactic and strategies for a 10-round meet, but then when the weather begins to interfere, then it changes totally, because the strategy may not work any longer.
Yeah, for sure. There's
Next
definitely
round could be the last one.
Exactly. And in fact, Hayabusa had in their WhatsApp group, even before they arrived, they said, we don't think this meet is going to complete if we look at the weather forecast, so we better come out strong. So it does go in. But as a coach, you have to remind, if you know your team well enough, what jumps you can attack and what you cannot. If certain stuff came up, I could have said to them, you can't attack this jump. but thank goodness for them. They had the first round with 19-5, and it is a jump that you have to attack. And you know, it went good for them. So and the second round with 17. So there was nothing that they actually had to hold back on.
All right, Gary, it is our connection is not improving right now. I see a thinking face again about something that is nicely presented and frozen.
And now with a coffee, I hope. No.
So I think we both go back to a coffee now, and we will continue with that, because there's so much again to talk about now, about what's going on right now. And if you would take some time again once you're back home, and with a hopefully better connection, we'll continue that, and hopefully we'll also get the Belgian boys into our conversation, and can hear from them how they experience the whole thing. We shall see.
Perfect, Kurt. I'm sorry about the internet, man.
Oh, it's not your fault.
There's not much I can. But there's not much I can do. I've tried to move it around a little bit to get something better, but it's not working.
Well, that's all right. The most important thing is we heard you, Gary, and you know, it's more important to hear what you have to say than, you know, see how you're saying it. You know, you have a lot of things to say whether we see you or not. So that's and it's much more fun to see you live somewhere anyway.
Perfect. Next meet.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Schmitty, thank you very much for taking your time, and I'm gonna turn you off now. Goodbye.
No worries, man.
Stay in Qatar.
Yes, thank you, man. Ciao.
Ciao.